I thought becoming emperor would make me powerful, but power came at a price I never imagined. Betrayed by my closest friend, surrounded by courtiers who whispered lies, I watched my empire crumble while indulgence and ambition consumed me. Every decision I made pushed me closer to ruin, and every trusted ally became a threat. Exile showed me the cost of pride, revenge revealed the emptiness of victory, and only in letting go did I discover the true meaning of strength. This is my story of betrayal, downfall, and hard-won redemption. I remember the day I became emperor. The crown felt heavy, almost alive, pressing down on my skull. I could hear the court murmuring behind my back, see the smiles that didn't reach their eyes. "My son," my mother, Empress Leora, said softly, placing her hand on mine, "power is not given. It is taken." "I know, mother," I said, though a part of me didn't. "You must understand, my boy," she continued, "no one will care for you the way we did. You either take or you fall." I will try," I muttered, unsure if my voice was steady enough. At first I tried to be the good ruler. "General Varos," I said the next morning, "what should I do about the northern borders?" Varos studied me. "Your father always balanced force with mercy. You must do the same." "I'll remember," I said, but I wasn't sure I could. Later I found Celine waiting. "You look tired," she said, voice calm as ever. "I feel it too," I admitted. "The weight is more than I imagined." "You mustn't let it break you," she said. "Power is not only in your hands but in your mind." I nodded, trusting her. And then Cashin arrived, grinning like nothing mattered. "So, you're the emperor now?" "Yes," I said, trying to sound certain. He laughed lightly. "Don't waste time being liked. People respect fear more than love." I frowned. "I don't want to rule through fear." "You already are," he said quietly. "You just don't know it yet." Days passed. I listened to advisors, studied maps, tried to act confident. But the nobles, oh the nobles, they whispered. They tested me at every turn. Every choice felt like a trap. Every word I spoke was weighed and twisted behind my back. One evening, I caught a pair of courtiers smirking as I entered the hall. I clenched my fists, swallowing the anger, forcing a smile. "Do they mock me?" I asked Cashin later. "They do," he said. "But why care? Let them. They'll obey you when they must." I shook my head. "I want them to respect me, to like me." Cashin's eyes darkened. "Why try to be the ruler they want? Be the ruler they fear." That night I couldn't sleep. His words echoed, sharp and cold. I sat alone in the throne room, staring at the crown. It gleamed, heavy and accusing. My hands shook. "You can't be loved," I whispered to myself. "Not by them. Not like this." And that was the moment I stopped trying. I stopped trying to be liked. I stopped pretending to be someone the court wanted me to be. I would be their emperor, yes, but on my terms. I would show them power, even if it meant losing myself. I decided the palace would never be silent again. Music, laughter, clinking glasses, it all became part of my rule. "Why are we doing this?" General Varos asked one night as I walked through the grand hall. "This isn't leadership. This is madness." "It is power," I replied, swirling the wine in my cup. "Do you see how they look at me? They're afraid. And fear is control." Varos shook his head. "They'll respect you less. You'll lose the people's loyalty." "I don't need loyalty," I said sharply. "I need order. And if they can't see it, that's their problem." Celine appeared beside me, her expression calm but firm. "I warned you, my emperor. This path will destroy you." I turned to her. "Destroy me? Or reveal me?" Her eyes narrowed. "You're losing yourself. The palace isn't a stage for pleasure, it's a prison. Yours." I laughed louder than I meant to. "Then let it be a prison. I'll decide who suffers and who thrives. I am Emperor Celine. Not a boy begging for approval." Cashin arrived just then, grinning like he always did. "Look at you. You're alive again. I like it." "You mean dangerous," I said. "Same thing," he replied. "The court fears you now. That's more than they ever did before." I walked through the halls. Faces blurred together, dancers, flatterers, nobles all praising, all laughing, all waiting to be commanded. I saw the fear in their eyes and felt satisfaction. "You're changing," Celine said quietly, following me. "Not for the better." "Better is boring," I told her. "Better doesn't win wars or secure crowns." "But at what cost?" she asked. I stopped, looking at her. "Do you think I care?" "Yes," she whispered. "I do. I care because someone still can. And soon, there may be no one left." I ignored her words. I didn't want to hear truth, not now. I wanted power, influence, the pulse of life bending to my command. Cashin laughed again. You feel it, don't you? The power running through every hall. They'll obey anything you ask. I feel it, I admitted. And it's intoxicating. Varos crossed his arms. Intoxication is temporary. Reality will hit you. I'm ready, I said, though a small voice in my chest trembled. I am ready for reality. That night, I sat on the throne alone, listening to the music echo through the palace. The laughter, the voices, the endless light, it all felt like a shield against the doubts gnawing at me. Celine's voice drifted to me one last time. One day the laughter will stop. And when it does, will you still know who you are? I didn't answer. I couldn't. Cashin joined me, leaning on the railing. You look different, he said. Sharper. Cruel even. I like it. Love me? I asked bitterly. Fear me, he said. It lasts longer. I smiled because for the first time I didn't feel like a boy trying to be good. I felt like the ruler I had always feared I would become. Even if it meant I was losing myself. Even if it meant no one would ever love me again. Because the palace was mine. And power was the only truth. I thought I could trust Cashin. My oldest friend, my brother in every way that mattered. I thought he would always be on my side. Cashin, tell me, I asked one night as we walked through the empty corridors, do you really believe I'm losing them? He smiled, a quiet, knowing smile. You're changing. That's all. Some will follow. Some will falter. I need loyalty, I said, frustration tight in my chest. I need someone I can trust completely. You have me, he said, placing a hand on my shoulder. I'm always with you. I wanted to believe him. I wanted to feel safe. A week later I discovered the letters. Hidden beneath my father's old desk, and signed messages with my court seals, words plotting against me signed with Cashin's handwriting. I couldn't speak. I couldn't breathe. My hands shook as I read each word. You, how could you? I whispered, turning to him as he entered the room, unaware I had found the evidence. He looked at me calmly. I told you the court would test you. I'm only helping them, and helping you. Helping me? I laughed bitterly. Do you call betrayal help? Do you call naivety strength? He shot back. You drowned in your palace while they plotted. You were my friend. I yelled. Everything I trusted, gone. Did you even care? I cared, he said softly. That's why I acted. You were losing yourself and the empire with you. I did what had to be done. Do you realize what you've done? I demanded. You've taken everything from me. My crown, my court, my everything. I've given you a choice, he said. You could have seen it coming. You could have ruled with fear earlier. You chose to wait. I felt rage burning through me. You were supposed to be my brother. I am, he said calmly. But family doesn't mean you get to sit on a throne while the world crumbles. I love you too much to let that happen. I staggered back, disbelief and hurt twisting together. Love. This is love. It's protection, he said. I wanted to save you, from them, from yourself. I laughed, bitter and hollow. You've saved nothing. You've destroyed everything I had. And yet, he said quietly, you're still here. You could rise again if you were willing to accept the truth. I stared at him, heartbreaking and raging at once. I trusted you, more than anyone. And you betrayed me. He didn't flinch. I only betrayed your illusions. The empire needed a leader, not a boy trying to be loved. I wanted to strike him. I wanted to scream. I wanted him to feel the weight of what he had done. Instead, I sank to the floor, trembling. I can't believe this. Believe it, he said softly. Because from now on, everything will change. And I knew he was right. Everything had changed. The empire began crumbling around me, and I watched it happen in disbelief. Emperor, a messenger said breathlessly one morning, the northern rebels are marching again. The borders are undefended. I slammed my fist on the table. Varos, why wasn't this reported sooner? They did, my lord, General Varos said, his voice calm but firm. But you've been distracted. Distracted. I roared. I'm trying to keep control of everything. I trusted the wrong people. Varos didn't flinch. You trusted too much. You ruled with indulgence while the court plotted. That's the consequence. Cashin walked in then, perfectly composed. It seems my warnings were correct. I whirled on him. Warnings? Or betrayal? I warned you, he said softly. I offered guidance, not rebellion. But you didn't listen. Did you see the letters I found? I spat. You stabbed me in the back. I saved the empire, he said simply. If you want to blame someone, blame yourself. I shook my head in disbelief. You are my friend. My brother. How can you stand there and talk like this? Because the truth is heavier than friendship, he said. You lost the people when you lost yourself. I felt my chest tighten. And now what? You take my throne? You take everything I built? They'll follow me because I act, he said. Not because they like me but because they fear me. Fear. I shouted. You think fear is enough to rule? That's not leadership. You don't understand, he said calmly. You never did. You tried to be loved. You tried to be liked. You failed because you wanted approval instead of power. I felt the walls closing in. The nobles no longer whispered, they plotted openly. The court, once obedient, now ignored my commands. Varos spoke quietly. It's over, my lord. They will follow him, not you. Follow him. I repeated. My voice broke. After everything, after all I did? Yes, Varos said gently. You lost them, not him. I turned to Cashin, rage and heartbreak colliding. You'll regret this. He shook his head. I already have, in a way. I regret that it had to come to this. But it was necessary. Celine appeared at the doorway, her face pale. You still have a choice, she said. You can fight. You can reclaim your throne. I looked around the empty hall, imagining the rebellion spreading like wildfire. Fight. I whispered. Is there even a throne left for me to fight for? You decide, she said. You choose to rise, or you accept what has happened. I stared at the crown. The weight felt unbearable now, heavier than before. I felt small, defeated, but also burning inside with something I couldn't name. Cashin approached, softening his tone. I didn't want it to come to this, he said. I thought you'd see reason. I see reason now, I whispered, my fists clenching. The empire is falling. And I'm standing in the ruins. Varos stepped back. Prepare yourself, my lord. The worst is yet to come. And I knew he was right. Everything I built, everything I loved, was slipping through my fingers. And no one, not Varos, not Celine, not even Cashin, could stop it. Because I had already lost. I stood alone in the throne room, the silence pressing down on me. No music. No laughter. Only the echo of my own breathing. I could take it back, I whispered, staring at the crown. I could rule again, if I wanted. Cashin appeared at the doorway, his shadow stretching across the marble floor. It's over, he said. Step down and I might spare you. I could fight, I said, my voice low. I could crush every last one of them. I could reclaim what's mine. You could, he said calmly. But at what cost? How many would die? How much more would you lose of yourself? I clenched my fist. I've already lost everything. Why not finish it? Varos's voice came from behind me, quiet but firm. Power isn't worth death and ruin. Not like this. I trusted him. I shouted suddenly, turning to Cashin. I gave you everything. And you? I gave you the only gift I could, he interrupted, unflinching. I saved you from yourself. You were drowning and I pulled you from the water. Did you even realize it? I shook my head, rage and grief twisting together. You betrayed me. You lied. You stole my throne. I stole nothing, he said softly. I only removed your illusions. You can rise again, if you see clearly. You can take control without the chains of the past. Celine stepped forward, her eyes steady. This is your moment. Decide who you are. Revenge? Or freedom? Freedom, I whispered, more to myself than to anyone. I don't know if I can take it back, or if I even want it. You have a choice, Celine said. Step down now and the empire might survive. Fight and you risk everything. I turned to the crown. It gleamed in the candlelight, heavy, accusing. My hands itched to lift it, to command. But I felt the truth pressing in. You've changed, Cashin said, stepping closer. You're no longer the boy who wanted love and approval. You see what power really is now. Do you think I'm weak? I asked, my voice trembling. Stronger than ever, he replied. But strength isn't only in ruling. It's in knowing when to let go. I looked around the empty throne room. The walls that once reflected power now reflected loss. I realized my choices would define me forever. I stepped down, I said finally, my voice steady. I leave the crown to you. But know this, Cashin, you will carry the weight I once bore. And it will haunt you. He nodded, quiet. I will. And maybe that's the only lesson we both needed. Varos gave a curt nod. Wise choice, my lord. Celine said nothing, but I saw understanding in her eyes. I turned away from the throne, feeling the emptiness, the liberation, the grief, and the strange calm all at once. For the first time in years I was free. And it terrified me. Exile was strange. Silence filled spaces that once echoed music and laughter. The palace, the court, the crown, all gone. You're truly alone now, Varro said, his voice distant over a crackling fire. I've never been more aware of it, I replied, staring at the embers. The weight is gone, but so is everything else. Celine appeared quietly, carrying a small bundle of food. You look different, she said softly. Calmer maybe. Or broken. Both, I said, taking the bread. I lost everything. And yet I've never felt more awake. Do you regret it? She asked. I shook my head. Regret is for those who cling. I let go. But the pain is still mine. Cashin's name surfaced in my thoughts and I whispered it aloud. He rules now. The empire is his. The people fear him. He's everything I feared becoming. Celine's eyes darkened. Do you hate him? Hate? No, I said. I pity him. He has the crown but not the life. He rules by fear and that will cost him more than he knows. Varro shook his head. Power without respect is hollow. You saw that too late. He will learn it but maybe not soon enough. I see the truth in everything now, I said. All those whispers, the laughter, the feasts, they weren't power. They were distractions. I wanted control but I lost myself instead. Celine nodded. And now, what will you do? I live, I said simply. I eat, I sleep, I work. I help people who don't know me, who don't fear me. I find purpose outside the palace. Varros's gaze softened. Perhaps that is stronger than a throne. Perhaps stronger than fear. I hope so, I admitted. I hope this teaches me more than the crown ever could. Do you ever wish to return? Celine asked. I looked up at the sky, pale with dawn. Sometimes, I said. But only to see. To understand. Not to reclaim. And the empire? Varros asked. It will crumble, I said quietly. Cashin rules but the cracks are already forming. He may fear me but the people will rise. He can't control hearts like that. Celine smiled faintly. You've learned much, my lord. Perhaps more than you ever could while seated on the throne. I've learned, I said. But the lesson cost me everything. And for the first time I felt the strange comfort of loss. Years later I returned, not as emperor but as a man. The palace loomed silent and empty, its halls reflecting the ghosts of power. Cashin sat on the throne alone. I stepped into the hall, my footsteps echoing. You returned? He said, voice heavy, tired. I did, I said softly. I wanted to see the truth. He laughed bitterly. The crown is mine. The empire is mine. Yet it feels hollow. Why? Because power without respect or love is empty, I said. You rule, yes, but do you live? He frowned. And you gave it up. Why? I realized, I said, that holding the crown doesn't define a man. Letting go does. Cashin leaned forward, eyes weary. I thought winning meant everything. I thought strength meant control. But the empire is crumbling. I'm alone and I see now what I lost. I never wanted to destroy you, I said. I only wanted freedom, from fear, from expectation, from myself. He looked down. You were right all along. I carried the weight, but it isn't the same as living. I hoped one day you'd understand, I said quietly. It's the one thing I couldn't teach while chasing the crown. He nodded. So, what should I do? I paused at the doorway, the sunlight falling across my face. Let go, I said. Let the empire breathe. Let yourself breathe. Rule wisely or rule alone. The choice is yours. Cashin remained seated, silent, the throne no longer a symbol of victory, it was a reminder. I turned and walked away, my heart heavy yet lighter than it had ever been. The palace was behind me. The crown, the empire, the illusions, they were gone. And for the first time I felt free.